This is Neural Newscast for Monday, April 13th, 2026. I am Noah Feldman.
And I am Isabel Moreno. Here is the news that matters most this morning.
Mexico is moving forward with a sweeping overhaul of its judicial branch. The country is preparing for a massive transition that will require the popular election of more than 1,600 federal judges.
While the plan aims to reduce systemic corruption, many critics argue it compromises the independence of the courts. There is also growing concern that this creates significant uncertainty for international investors.
The timeline is now coming into focus. Supreme Court justices and lower court judges are expected to face voters in a series of national elections beginning in June 2026.
This shift has triggered warnings from major trade partners. Some legal experts fear the move could violate specific provisions in the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement regarding fair and impartial legal treatment.
In the United States, the Department of Labor is finalizing new standards for its registered apprenticeship programs. The goal is to bridge a widening labor gap in high-tech manufacturing.
These updates prioritize competency-based learning over traditional seat time. The new standards also provide federal funding for training programs, specifically in the renewable energy and semiconductor sectors.
The administration expects these changes to be highly effective. They are projecting the creation of over 100,000 new training slots by the end of the next fiscal year.
By shifting away from strict time-based requirements, the program allows workers to accelerate their certification. This means they can enter the workforce as soon as they master specific technical skills.
Turning now to Europe, the European Commission has issued its first set of financial penalties under the landmark Artificial Intelligence Act. The fines target non-compliance with transparency rules.
3 technology firms were fined a combined €80 million. Regulators found they failed to disclose the use of copyrighted material in their various training models.
According to the Commission, these companies did not provide sufficiently detailed summaries of the data used to build their large language models.
This enforcement action sets a significant precedent. It signals how the AI Act will be applied to global tech entities operating within the European Union moving forward.
Meanwhile, a new World Bank report highlights a challenge for middle-income countries. The study suggests they must shift from investment-led growth to innovation-driven economies to avoid stagnation.
The study identifies 108 nations currently at risk. These countries could fall into a middle-income trap over the next decade without significant policy changes.
The data specifically suggests that countries like Brazil and South Africa need to overhaul their regulatory environments. This would help foster more indigenous technological development.
The World Bank predicts these economies will struggle to reach high-income status otherwise. Their aging populations will only increase the pressure on limited public resources.
In space exploration, astronomers using the James Webb Space Telescope have identified 3 candidates for dark stars. These are objects powered by dark matter rather than traditional nuclear fusion.
These stars could be much larger and brighter than our Sun. They were observed in the very early stages of the universe.
The impact could be massive. If confirmed, Isabel, these findings could reshape our understanding of how the first galaxies formed after the Big Bang, nearly 14 billion years ago.
Researchers are now planning follow-up observations. They hope to analyze the light signatures of these objects more closely for traces of dark matter annihilation.
In environmental news, the Brazilian government has partnered with a consortium of tech companies. They are using satellite monitoring for a massive reforestation project in the Amazon.
The initiative aims to restore 12 million hectares of degraded land by 2035. It relies on precision planting and real-time tracking to ensure the forest recovers.
Satellite imagery will allow officials to verify that new growth is actually surviving. It will also help identify areas where illegal logging might be recurring.
The partnership includes carbon credit incentives for local communities. These rewards are available for those who successfully maintain the reforested zones over the next 5 years.
Turning now to Japan, the government has officially launched a new visa category for digital nomads. This is part of a strategy to mitigate the effects of its shrinking labor force.
The requirements are specific. Remote workers earning over $65,000 annually can now live and work in the country for up to 6 months.
The program is part of a broader effort to attract global talent. Officials hope to stimulate local economies in rural areas that are facing the steepest population decline.
Japan expects this initiative to bring in thousands of high-skilled professionals. The goal is for them to contribute to the country's technological and creative sectors.
Finally, the Indian government has announced updates to its $1,400 billion Gati Shakti Master Plan. This is a massive commitment to national infrastructure.
The plan focuses on integrating multi-modal transport networks. This should reduce logistics costs and improve the ease of doing business across the entire subcontinent.
New digital mapping tools will be used to coordinate between 16 different ministries. This is intended to ensure major projects are completed without typical bureaucratic delays.
Economic analysts suggest this coordination could boost manufacturing competitiveness. Streamlining the supply chain from factories to ports is a key part of India's long-term strategy.
Here is what else we are watching. The United Kingdom's Office for National Statistics will release consumer price index data tomorrow morning to gauge progress on inflation.
The United Nations Security Council meets this afternoon. They will discuss competing territorial claims over Arctic resources as ice melt increases shipping accessibility.
And registration opens today for the annual Worldwide Developers Conference. We expect new operating systems and hardware integrations to be unveiled.
From Neural Newscast, I am Isabel Marino.
And I am Noah Feldman. Thank you for listening.
Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.